Welcome to my first training focus video. Follow me on the Instagram. So today we're going to focus on a nice little lower body focus warm-up. If you follow me on the Instagram enough, you see me banging these out. I just whip them left, right and center. I call these fives. We've got 5 reps of everything. The first one, we're going to sit in and out of a deep squat position, driving our knees back to find that tension in the hamstrings. We're sitting it right down to find that thoracic extension and feel that tension in the hips. From there, position number 2, pretty simple, don't really have a name for it, but as the video shows, we're just putting our hands right up and bring them right back down. Again, trying to reinforce that thoracic extension by sitting in that position so our hips are concurrently working. Number 3, why don't we call this a prayer pose? Hands come together, you want your elbows on the inside of your knees and allow them to do all the work, driving the knees outwards, opening up the hips. Notice just then, knuckles went in together as opposed to the hands. You should feel the hips just open up a little bit more. If you can't do that yet, there's no problem sticking with the first one with the hands together. Next, you can see me with my hands on the floor. We're rocking in and out of that position. Again, just another exercise I use to open up the hips. We're thinking about squatting, so we really want to focus on opening up those hips so we can sit right down into that deep squat position. Next, we're putting all of those movements together to form a Kang squat. Toes looking for the hamstrings, open up those hips, sit down, hands up, thoracic extension, stand up. Alright, so now we're in our lunge circuit. With this, again, very focused on the hips, a little bit of hamstrings. We're starting off, the idea, want to stay in a high plank position, which I am not. We want the right foot to the right hand, left foot to the left hand. Here, it's just a lot more of a dynamic exercise here. Again, focusing on opening up those hips, getting them moving, preparing for what's coming up next with the squat. This next one I call rockers. I'm just moving in and out of that position where we're starting to feel some tension in the hips. Jumping out and jumping right back in. Kind of like a pulse, I guess. Right. Next, again, we're gonna open up towards the wall and away from the wall. Personally, I do it this way because when I think of typically unilateral work, anything you do on one side, you do on the other side. So I'm opening up to my left, opening up to my right. Again, looking for more tension in the hips. We're just trying to release and feel good. So next, we're gonna touch on those hamstrings, straightening up that leg, point the toes, and then we're gonna lean forward and drop that elbow right to the floor. We're gonna turn that foot a little bit open towards the floor, which should help increase that tension and the range of motion, which will help also allow you to drop that elbow to the floor. Personally, I find that. And then we're gonna pulse in and out of that hamstring stretch and repeat on the same side. So as we switch back, starting off with that hamstring stretch, straighten that leg, point it to the ceiling, feel that tension, hold it. And then from there, we're gonna rock into the floor. Drop that elbow nice and quickly into the floor. We'll call this a spider pose. You look like a spider with those long femurs. Rock in and out, find that tension in the hamstrings. And last little bit to finish this whole warm-up circuit off, we're going into a pigeon stretch. If you follow me on the Insta, check out Movement Monday, pigeon pose, for that tension in the glutes. Switch legs. And again on my Instagram, if you have a look at that video, we've got 3 different levels of intensities for this exercise. Starting off high, drop into a middle, and then right down to the floor. So make sure you follow me on Instagram to check out Movement Monday, pigeon pose. Check out your squat at the end. You should be nice and warm to be sitting that deep, deep, deep squat. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next time.